Let's set sail again today. I am Michael Olatunbosun. The book for today is a memoir. The memoir details the shame, disappointments, and stigmatization that a pregnant single young adult faces in society. It is titled Stories from the Womb: My Experience as a Pregnant Single Lady, written by Lawal, Kafayat Gold, and published in 2020 by Parousia Reads, Ibadan. The author, Lawal Kafayat Gold, is a poet, writer, a brand storyteller, and strategist. Stories from the Womb is her first published work. The author opens the book with musings about the state of mind of a person who suddenly discovers her pregnancy. She writes about the fact that pregnancy can be unexpected when you are not married, and that your mind will be a receptacle of different thoughts and things, especially of a staccato of questions like what would father and mother say, like what sisters would think, or how your pastor would react, etc. According to the author, these stampede of questions increased my desire to want to scream and disappear. And I quote, "I am pregnant" became the only song in my head, and it had no rhythm. End of quote. One of the first issues that spring to the mind of the author is the thought of getting pregnant when you are single, or better put, when you are not ready. The author cleverly portrays this scenario by stating that the process of pregnancy has taught her that she had to get pregnant to know that it is difficult and not easy, and that is why it is reserved for people who are married. In this book, Lawal Kafayat Gold tells us about the reaction of her father when he was told about her pregnancy. For someone whose wedding the whole family had perpetually waited for, it would definitely be heartbreaking and disappointing to learn that she could disrupt the dream of her family for a grand wedding. Here, and I quote, "The wedlock thing is another issue. I could have gotten married. I am that daughter whose wedding everyone has been waiting for. I have 3 sisters, all married within the range of 21 and 22, but here I was at 24, unmarried. My father really wants the whole father of a bride thing. Same with my mom. I have a sister who has volunteered to be in charge of Ashoebi since I clocked 20. My aunt was expectant too, even my father's wife. Instead, I woke up one Saturday to drop the news on everybody. I am pregnant." The story could have been rewritten still. At the 19th week, my stomach was still flatter than that of most ladies on the streets of Lagos, so I could have been a pregnant bride and still slay. But the truth is, I have seen a lot of marriages where it had to happen because a baby happened. It does not matter whether you are ready or not. The baby happening meant you were ready. You don't ready if you aren't ready is the rule. For some of these, the husband, while after getting married, says, I quote, "Ṣé mo sọ pé mo fẹ́ fẹ́ ẹ ni? Did I ask to marry you? I never knew I would get pregnant out of wedlock one day. I wasn't even having sex at 20. But here I was, pregnant and telling everyone I wasn't ready to get married because I just wasn't. Add that to the fact that I'm now supposed to marry someone who thinks I got pregnant because I want us to be together. So we should get married even though it won't be the kind of life I've dreamt for? No, I wouldn't let my first child become the priest welding us." Just listening to Book Splash on Splash FM 105.5 Ibadan, and the book on the table is Stories from the Womb, a memoir written by Lawal Kafayat Gold, LKG for short. In this book, especially the chapter A Little Backstory, LKG gives the reader a background about the issues that occasioned her singlehood by stating that she and her son's father didn't break up until they discovered they were expecting a child, although things had been going south with their relationship lately. But things just happened. And one of those things that happened to her is a resolution to sort things out with God and never to let the perceptions or judgment of people throw her off balance. Thus, LKG writes, and I quote, "But what God thinks of me and how I will want to handle the situation was paramount in my head than what my family or anyone else thinks or will say. It became a spiritual battle, a war in my heart. I became resolute that nobody has died for me on this earth, so their opinion does not matter, as God still sees the best in me and in my seed. It's totally a God and I thing, and He gave me my biggest, I am with you, one I can never get from anyone else." End of quote. Drawing strength from this conviction, the author trudges on in our voyage from discovery to delivery, an experience that helps to build courage in the battle against trauma and suicidal thoughts. Added to this is the author's battle against consistent nagging stigmatization and societal perception, a perception that imposes upon the woman a pervasive tell your husband refrain that greets every of your complaint or question, either to health workers or other members of society. And the author is here, Kafayat Lawal Gold, LKG for short, the author of the memoir, Stories from the Womb. Welcome to Book Splash.
Thank you very much.
Tell me, first of all, why did you decide to write a story about your pregnancy?
First of all, I think because I'm a storyteller. And then I feel like my story is the story of a lot of ladies out there. Many of it's untold. It's what happened to someone that discovers, oh, I'm pregnant. And then you're thinking, I feel like a lot of ladies have to undergo abortion because of the whole stigmatization thing and everything that comes with it. So I just felt like telling everybody's story in my own way.
And suicidal thoughts crossed your mind at some point.
Yes, it did.
As a matter of fact, abortion also. There was something kicking and saying, get an abortion.
Yes.
Get an abortion.
Yes.
Tell me about these two thoughts.
Okay. I think there's a part of the book where I said, you are never ready if you are not married. You are never ready for pregnancy. So it was one of the things that come to my mind. And like you read before, I have a lot of family expectations on me. I mean, I was that child. I'm a last born. So there's plenty expectation on me to do a lot of things. And yeah, they do. So who are you dating? Who do you want to get married to? And I'm like, no, I'm not ready. I must have so amount in my account before I'm thinking of getting married.
Yeah,
and then there's a Saturday and I'm saying, okay, so I'm pregnant. Now, everybody would be shocked. So in thinking of all of that, I thought, okay, an abortion will make everything go away, even though I might not be okay with it. But everybody would not know. At least I'll be the only one. And then everything will be fine.
Eventually, things like that gets out someday.
The abortion part. Oh, well, at least they won't know now.
They won't know now. There's this thing about, single women, this perception about them. I'll come to that soon. But I just thought I should just maybe scratch the surface first of all. There's this perception that society has about single women. You told the story of your breakup, so to speak, in this book. I was wondering, how is it that you will just discover that you are pregnant? I remember a friend, had a naming ceremony. We were there and then the guy was asked to talk and then he said, we just discovered that my wife was pregnant. I laughed. How do you just discover that someone is pregnant?
Because you just discover. I mean, okay, it's something I think I mentioned too. I didn't even intend to take the pregnancy test or something. I just wanted to, okay, no, it's just a late period. And my friend was just take this test, you wouldn't die. So yeah, it's a discovery.
A discovery of some sort. There's this part that I thought we should also talk about. That part where it may be very personal indeed, but from your book, you said that things were, getting, really, sour, up to the point that you discovered that you were pregnant. Can you tell us the story, really?
Okay, let me see if I can scratch the surface. It's just, there are a couple of issues on ground like every other relationship have. And so for us, it was a thinking of, okay, apart from these issues that we have even between ourselves, there's still a bigger battle of religion to fight with both families. I'm a Christian, he's a Muslim, so it's a bigger conflict on its own. And mixing all of these things together, I just sort of get to somebody's head and let's just draw back.
Society still thinks religion can just throw people off balance.
Okay, I'm a Christian. I'm a very serious Christian, and I think being a writer made me feel like, oh well, it does not matter. Yeah, it's
exactly.
Okay. But yeah, right now I can tell anybody that is trying to do something like that no, don't try it. It's not okay.
But it's love. They say love covers all sins.
Yeah, but our society is bigger than all of these things. Wow. It's bigger than, I know the things that I had to face because of this religion issue, even before I was pregnant. So, and even after I was pregnant. So it's a lot of things on its own. I wouldn't advise anyone to to try it.
It's still Book Splash on Splash FM. In this book, the author dedicates some time to discussing the perceived authority that is ascribed to pregnant women in our society. She thinks that pregnancy is a time when women should profess life and declare good things. For the author, pregnancy is a metaphor for life and the giving of life to another, which God has extended to women through pregnancy. So for the author, pregnant women should use that period to declare good things, talk to God, and give life to everything around them. Kafayat, our society thinks that pregnant women have some spiritual power of some sort.
Yeah, they do.
I remember someone who was talking with me, and the person said that when his brother's wife was pregnant and she was going to be delivered of her baby, that she was just saying all sorts of things. People were saying, no. We still think that's true.
Yeah, it's something everybody, you're not allowed to use negative words. You are not allowed to, because especially if an older person is nearby, they would correct you immediately that is wrong. It's as if, I don't know, if you're an angel at that point or you live in heaven or something.
So you believe that? Yeah.
Oh, well.
So tell me, what did you bring to life apart from the baby?
Yeah, I brought my baby to life.
Oh, wow. You are still listening to Book Splash on Splash FM 105.5, and the book in focus is a memoir titled Stories from the Womb, written by Lawal, Kafayat Gold. Before we go to other things, tell me about your trajectory as a writer. I know you are a poet. The first time I met you was on stage as a performance poet. So how did you come about poetry in the first instance before we go to how you came about the idea of writing?
Poetry. Let me see. I started writing poetry because of a guy. I started writing poetry on Facebook. I was very active on Facebook then. I write short articles and quotes and all on Facebook. And then I was a member of a particular group. I was sort of active there too. Then one day the creator of the group asked if I would write a poem with him. He's a poet. He has published books. And then asked if I would write a poem with him. And I just said, yeah, okay. And that was the beginning. That was in 2013. And that was how I just started writing poetry.
So tell me your influences. Who are those who have influenced your arts in general?
Neo Shindari.
Okay.
Okay, so there's, I think it's like the major person, and then there are contemporary, and then there's Tade Badiola too. I read him.
Wow.
So there are then contemporary writers. He writes a person like Kuku Gorisiri Samson, Jide Badmos. So people like that. But like my major, those ones.
Interesting. Okay, in this book, LKG tells us about the fact that although she has trained kids before and has taken many deliveries in her former life, yet she has found that having your own children is a different vocation entirely. This is further concretized by the fact that you can't even sufficiently explain everything that happens in pregnancy. You mentioned your former life here. Have you been alive before that you just came back?
Well, I've had like different lifetimes. So in one lifetime, I'm now a mom. So that kind of, I think what I mean is a phase of life. In some phase of my life, I'd been a nurse. So it's like a lifetime on its own, and it looks like it's very, very far away now.
In this book, LKG also discusses the Nigerian myth or belief that a pregnant woman should not walk in the afternoon sun. Thus, the pregnant woman is told that, quote, all the spirits walk under the afternoon sun. So if a pregnant woman does, it is possible that the spirits can chase out the child she's carrying and replace with something else. To prevent this though, pregnant women who walk in the sun must attach safety pins to their clothes right on their stomach. End of quote. Tell me about this story. We have heard it very often. Pregnant women tying pins.
To
Where
your
did we
stomach.
get that from?
I don't know. And I never did it throughout my pregnancy. And my baby is a very, very much alive human being, not a spirit. So I think it's like the wrongest of all spots. I don't even have a safety pin. Talk less of attaching one. I don't know where we got it from, but I think it's just probably for health reasons. Because, yeah, it's not cool to walk under the afternoon sun for fever and all of those things. So I guess that is just it.
Okay, but it sounds believable really that a lot of women, even the religious, the educated, the non-educated, almost every pregnant woman has a safety pin on her.
Yeah.
Even wives of preachers.
Yes. I don't know. I haven't schooled a lot, but I think I'm widely read. So I don't understand, why do I have to attach a pin? And you're walking in the market, you see someone looking very, very intently at you, like, kilo de te, low pin. And I think, I don't understand. How is this your pin?
Interesting. In this book, the author discusses some privileges that pregnant women enjoy in society. Such include being allowed to skip queues, auto respect, getting help from bus conductors, bikemen, etc., and crossing roads like a queen. That's what you put in your book. Tell me about a few of these privileges.
Okay, I think the one everyone would know is you're allowed to jump queue if you're a pregnant person. Once there is a very long queue, or even if it's not long, you just get there and you walk straight to the front, they will allow you. I did it a lot of times, especially with ATMs. So I think it's one of the privileges I would miss. That comes with being pregnant that I would miss, actually. So,
but you're carrying a baby now, so that privilege could still be extended.
Well, I don't go out with my baby all the time.
Crossing the road like a queen. It's graphic, so everybody will just wait and say,
just
just
hold your waist and just cross easily. They would wait. Even on the street of Lagos, where we believe the drivers are highly mad and they would wait. Like, I don't understand, but it's sort of an auto respect that just comes with the zone, with the whole shafileo.
Tell me, is there something that you have put in this book that you now think you shouldn't have added to the book?
I don't think so. Because even some people, after reading the book, wrote back to me, and I've gotten a couple of stories where someone tells me, oh, this is why I had an abortion the first time I had an abortion, because I wasn't married. And so the feedback I've gotten from people that have read the book made me feel like it's actually okay for me to tell the story the way I did. So I don't think I shouldn't have put anything there.
You see, one of those things that you put in the I just remembered in that book.
That I shouldn't have put?
No, I was just thinking that why is it that many men find pregnant women attractive? It's in your book.
Yeah, it's it.
You have some experience that you put in the book where some guy was just following you.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a fetish or I just, that is like one thing I still don't understand, and I'm no more pregnant now. So,
all right. The author closed the book this way. I quote, I actually wanted to include a live lessons from the experience as the 50th. Yes, you have just read 49 stories, but I decided against it because I want you to tell me what you are taking from this when you write to me. You don't have to be pregnant, and I hope you won't tell me my book has inspired you to get pregnant out of wedlock, because believe me, it's not the way to go. If anything, I actually hope I have helped you to make a resolution to do things right and be true to yourself always, and more importantly, to put God first. Now, tell me, you said you wrote this book to teach lessons, right?
Yeah.
That is not the right way to go to get pregnant out of wedlock, but it has happened. Now, I want you to talk to young women out there who might find themselves in this situation. How do they draw strength?
I think the first thing I would like to say is that we should try as much as possible not to find ourselves in this situation. Someone read my book, wrote to me. I was replying the mail last week. The person is a virgin and is being pressured for sex. And I don't know, it just sort of got to me like, no, please don't. Because, I've been there. There's this saying that experience is the best teacher, but it's best if it's not your own experience. But it is my own experience now. I'd rather say no one should get to that zone. And if you find yourself there, I believe abortion is not the way to go. This is not because I'm a pro-lifer or because I did it or something. It was something that got to me. Someone said she had an abortion in 2017 or so, and told me that, if the child was alive, the child would have been 3 this year. And I just looked. I had a look on my face, sort of. And the way she looked back at me and said, Why are you surprised? You're surprised I'm keeping the birthday of a dead child? It's sort of, this person has not even healed from this thing. Whereas if you had gone on, faced whatever it is anybody would say to you, by the time the baby comes, everybody would love that child and you would have been able to move on. So yeah, if you find yourself in this situation, I believe just draw strength. There is always a support system anywhere. For me, I had to run away from home first and then leave my family out of it until I'm okay in my mind and know this is what I really want to do. So yeah, if you need to do anything in that zone, just do it. Just get support system for yourself, not people that will tell you to do what is wrong. Decide what you want for yourself and stick to it, because yeah, you're going to need a lot of that very firm decision that this is, yeah, I decide to do this and I will do it.
Firm decision.
Yeah.
You are better known as a poet, that's to me.
Yes.
So I've been wondering, when is poetry going to, take the stage for you in terms of publication?
2020 has been a lot. I've been pregnant this year, so I don't know. I'm hoping to publish something else for my birthday in October, but I don't know if it will be a poetry collection or a set of story again. But returning to the stage, I'll be returning to the stage post-corona, hopefully, and God help us. In publishing poetry too.
Can I ask you to return to the stage of microphone now?
I know.
Okay. Lawal, Kafayat Gold, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
That was my conversation with Lawal Kafayat Gold, author of the memoir Stories from the Womb. I hope you liked it. If you do, please join me again next time on Booksplash for another book on the cards. Ultimately, this book is a well-written work, and the 9-month journey from discovery to delivery has been detailed intricately in a beautifully told story by the author. The author deployed potent metaphors and images to tell our story meticulously, guiding the reader through the 49 stories or chapters and 80 pages in a conversational language with loads of humor stuffed in between. I must confess that it has been a breathtaking outing on Booksplash on Splash FM 105.5 Ibadan. And I ask you to join me for another moment on the program same time next Saturday on Splash FM 105.5. Thank you for listening, and thanks to my sound manager Victor Daudu for a job well done. In case you have a comment or query, please send me a text message on 0805 699 8676 or email Olatunbosun at splashfm1055.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Mike Tumbosun. I am Michael Olatunbosun, and I urge you to read the book today.